Dear students, good evening everyone. So my name is Sheikh Rahman. I am from Civil Department working at Anurag Engineering College. Where will be there? Nothing but in Kodada, Surapet district. So let me know we are discussing about the environmental disasters. So today in this section we have to discussing about the environmental disasters. So let me know one by one. We have to detailedly knowing about the what kind of disasters will be there, how many types will be there. With help of images also we have to be knowing about clear information about the environmental disasters. Let's start as a topic. So let's hear environmental disaster. So it is half of it has all of sudden event which happen without knowledge. So maybe nothing but what we are saying any disaster without knowledge must should be suddenly happen without any information, without any knowledge or without any symptoms. Maybe any disaster will be happen that we are called simply environmental disaster. So it's caused huge loss of life, huge loss of the property, huge environmental area will be affected or damaged. That we are called environmental disaster. Maybe already previous a lot we have discussing about environmental hazard. Maybe loss of the life very less, maybe loss of the property very less, maybe environmental damage area will be less, a small scale range point that we are called environmental hazard. But in case of having huge loss of life, huge loss of the property, huge environmental area will be damaged or affected, then we are called environmental disaster. So these disasters also be happen suddenly without any information, without any knowledge, without any consideration or guidance. It will be happen that we are called environmental disaster. In case, for example, short-term disaster having less time, for the best example, earthquake, wherever maybe earthquake, maybe within 2 minutes, maybe it will be came, it will be affected more, negative impact will be created on that society, and one will be far away. That will be simply go away. So next one, small minor damage refers point as accident. Maybe what we are saying time reference point of short-term disaster as earthquake, small minor damage point of having the accident, maybe long-term disaster point of long time, such a long time, maybe number of months, number of years, number tens of years, not having any particular required rainfall, that we are called the drought. Drought means nothing but nothing number of months or maybe number of years, maybe tens of years, not having proper required rainfall, that we are called a drought condition. For example, Atacama desert we have to take 400 years not having even single rainfall. Actually desert, Atacama desert, the desert even 400 years not having any small rainfall. So that particular conditions we are called drought conditions. Enter our Telugu states also 2000 a year combined state having time that we are having some drought conditions also. So big major damage refers as the atomic power plant point of. Maybe unfortunately accident will be happening. A small minor damage, maybe fracture of the bones or maybe some wounds will be happen on the body. That vehicle accident may be major point of atomic power plant. Maybe you have to imagine one of the atomic power plant will be blast will be affected or maybe damaged. Nothing but loss of the life. The negative impact will be more, will be strong. Okay, next one, types of disasters. So maximum we have to be broadly classified two types of disasters will be the natural disasters and man-made disasters. So nothing but here natural means nothing but of not having any human involvement, human interruption. Only nature will be creating, will be main cause for those kind of disasters. Such kind of disasters we are called natural disasters. What we are exact definition? Extreme sudden events caused by environmental factors such as storms, floods, droughts, and fires. So nothing but of the extreme sudden events. Those are related to the environment. Environmental related events suddenly or maybe effectively extremely caused for any disaster behind the work will be happen. So that kind of disasters we are called environmental disasters or natural disasters, because of environment or nature only involved here, not having any human interruption, not having any human involvement. So that kind of disasters we are called natural disaster. The best example of the maybe floods or maybe cyclones or maybe droughts or maybe wildfires or maybe hailstorm, so landslides, etc., etc. Maybe some other conditions point of earthquakes or volcanic eruptions. So these are all things we have to be given the best example for the natural disasters point of. Next one, man-made disasters. Maybe human interruption, human elements or merchants, human intent, human interruption, human involvement, human negligence, human mistakes or human errors. Those are the factors play crucial role, important role. Those are indirectly, directly caused for any disaster. Such kind of that type of disasters we are called man-made disasters. So example point of crime, war, and also conflicts between two large group between conflicts, and also terrorism and biological disasters, and maybe nothing but of the chemical tragedies, or maybe cyber attacks, etc., etc. Nothing but human mostly involvement, human interruption, human intent, main cause for the human negligence, maybe human lack of awareness, human cunningness, mind, mustn't should cause for any disaster. That kind of disaster are called man-made disaster. Ultimate motto is huge loss of life, huge property damage, huge environmental area will be affected. Then only we are called considered it is a disaster, right? Next one. So we have to be seen different types of images, natural disaster or different types of images will be there, or man-made point or different types of images will be there. What we are given examples point, such kind of examples has to be there here. Okay. Next one. So types of hazards and disasters, natural disasters or hazards, these are sub-classified planetary hazards or extra-planetary hazards. My dear students, maybe any disaster or maybe any hazard will be happen on this or on the planet, in the planet, on the planet or in the planet. Maybe our planet is nothing but Earth. Maybe any disaster will be hazard will be happen on our Earth. Such kind of hazard or disasters we are called planetary hazards or disasters. Extra planetary hazard disasters we are called nothing but of the maybe any hazard or disaster will be happen beyond the earth, nothing but of the at particular in space or solar system. Such kind of hazards or disasters we are called extra planetary hazards. So let we know about planetary disaster hazards. These are also sub-classified. What is mean by planetary hazards? If any disaster or hazard will be occur in our planet, nothing but on Earth. So such kind of disaster hazards we are called planetary hazards. So those planetary hazards we are sub-classified endogenous hazards, exogenous hazards. My dear students, endogenous means maybe any hazard or disaster will be happen subsurface of the earth. Such kind of hazards we are called endogenous hazards. Let me know simply here. So nothing but of those example point of volcanic eruption. The first image in this slide represented by the volcanic eruption, and second slide image represented by the earthquakes. So nothing but endogenous means in subsurface of the earth any hazard disaster will be happen or occur. Such a kind of or such a type of disasters or hazards we are called endogenous hazards or endogenous disasters. So next to honest type, next subclassification of the planetary disasters point of exogenous hazards. So which hazards are mostly happen or occur originate will be happen at the surface of the earth or maybe in the atmosphere. In the atmosphere, such kind of hazards or disasters we are called exogenous hazards. The best examples cyclones, floods, and droughts. So let we see the third image represented by the cyclone at the ocean. So it is next fourth image represented by the flood conditions, particularly entire village will be sinking in that flood water. So maybe nothing but of the what is the difference? Endo means subsurface happening any disaster hazard. Subsurface of the earth happening any disaster we are called endogenous. Maybe surface of the earth any disaster will be happen or occur that we are called exogenous hazards. Next slide. So types of hazard disasters point of a second one extraplanetary hazards. Nothing but here any hazard or disaster will be happen or occurred in the solar system. It may be nothing but of the in beyond the space sorry, especially in space. So that kind of disaster hazards we are called extraplanetary hazards and disasters. Example asteroids. See the first one, the first represented by the asteroid, second one meteoroids, last one comets. So the best example for the extraplanetary hazards, nothing but of the asteroids, comets, and also meteoroids. Sorry, meteoroids, and comets. So these are all rarely happening events, not frequently happen. Like floods yearly, twice or thrice will be happen, like drought conditions yearly once we have facing the summertime drought conditions, not having water reserve, not having water availability on the surrounding areas. So maybe cyclones yearly monsoon time a maximum 3 4 cyclones we are facing. But extra planetary hazards point of these kind of hazards not to be happen regularly. So maybe having too much of they have maintained lot of time period. Yeah, for example, Haley comments will be there 72 years after monthly again we have to visible in the sky. So like particular point of some time periods will be there. So must ensure extraplanar hazards are not rarely frequently happen events, right? So next one. So types of hazards and disasters point of a second broad category, man-made disasters. So these are classified into three types of disasters. So physical man-made hazards, chemical man-made hazards, and biological man-made hazards. So physical point of nothing but of such man-made physical man or man-made hazards or disasters. Man physically involved, maybe they're using their body or arms or maybe weapons or maybe any knives or maybe any machinery materials they must should directly involve, maybe at the same otherwise maybe must should having by the some mistakes, some errors, some negligence, work related negligence. So these all will be caused for the physical man-made hazards or disasters, maybe crime or maybe terrorism activities or maybe war or maybe train accidents or maybe chemical threat and cyber attacks. These are all will be called physical man-made hazards or disasters. The C image represented by in the slide. So first image that image war related between two countries, and second image represented by the Orissa train tragedy incident of the image. So maybe loco pilot, maybe station master error point of signal erroring point of that tragedy will be happening. So next one, chemical man-made hazards or disasters. The best example, Bhopal gas tragedy. Nothing but of the maximum here, nothing but of the 2,500 people are died at that accident. So 5 lakhs people are affected directly, indirectly. Maybe even doctors also don't know how to treat them at the tragedy time. So why? Because of toxic gases will be released. The toxic gas name is MIC, methane isocyanide. Cyanide gas will be toxic gases will be released suddenly. So nothing but when will be happening within but of the December 2nd, 1984. So this tragedy will be happening at Bhopal city. So nothing but of the some toxic gases will be released. Those toxic gases caused a huge loss of the life. Maybe so many. Maybe that particular areas farming peoples will be there. That way, that plant will be established. So nothing but with help of Bhopal MIC, MIC with help of that Union Carbide Indian Limited, so private limited must ensure producing by the making of pesticides. Those pesticides those pesticides mostly used for the agriculture purpose. So that particular point of farmers beneficiary point of central government of India type of the US related companies established by the fertilizer company in that particular area. But MIC gas will be suddenly will be released that the gas is caused for the huge loss of the life and property and environment will be affected. Why? Because of toxic gas suddenly will be released. Even doctors don't know how to treat them affected people's point, victims point of. And last one, biological man-made hazard disasters. Nothing but of the maybe pathogenic bacteria or microorganisms or maybe enzymes, microbes or maybe bacterial activities, maybe nothing but of the bacteria, maybe fungus or virus or maybe algae, protozoa, radiolaria. These kind of microbes maximum caused for any huge loss of the life, loss of the property. Environmental conditions have to be damaged. Such kind of disaster hazards we are called biological man-made hazard disasters. For example, we have to give a best example of the COVID-19 because of the this man-made point, because of some of the articles strongly agree with the maybe China related countries has to be doing that kind of things. But we are not properly agree with them. Whatever may be, the disaster will be spreading with one human to another human, transferred one human to another human. So I mean that kind of disaster hazards also called biological disaster hazards. Maybe any disaster, maybe any thread or any disease will be spreading one person to another person, maybe with help of the human fluids. So such kind of disaster hazards we are also called man-made hazards, especially biological hazards. For example, HIV virus and a virus related type of a disease, type of disease also be easily spread one person to another person. Maybe coronavirus also, maybe any corona affected victim person have to be maybe sneezing or maybe coughing. So that particular point of coughing symptoms point of that particular those are the fluids, releasing of the fluids also carrying of the that virus one person and another person easily spread. Okay, outbreak is a short period of time. So next one. So this is last slide. So today we are end of our section. My dear students, if having any doubts and maybe having any need require any more clarity, so please text your questions as soon as I give the reply. Thank you very much. Next we have to, after 1 week or maybe next time we have to be re again meet to you. So thank you very much everyone.